The battle of man versus food has raged across 10 seasons and 2 hosts, showing off some of the craziest challenges that American restaurants have to offer. As big or spicy as some of these difficult dishes are, Adam Richman and Casey Webb made them feel like picnics in the park. At first glance, Manhattan in the dessert skyscraper of a sandwich looks like a challenge worthy of the biggest eater. The stacked layers of corned beef, turkey, pastrami, Swiss cheese, and roast beef look straight out of an episode of Scooby-Doo. A sandwich like this only takes Shaggy and Scooby a few bites, but it took Casey Webb just a bit longer. Once Webb did start chowing down on the meat-packed deli sandwich, the man vs. food host made it look quite manageable. He started by laying the stack on its side and pulling off mini sandwich sections. There was no time limit on this challenge, but that didn't stop Webb from making quick work of it. It only took him 5 minutes to swallow the bottom layer, which was around a third of the whole thing. Webb finished the challenge handily, and he was even able to stand up and gloat afterwards.
Hey Eli, where's my dessert?
This is definitely a challenge that many fans at home believe to be very doable. The hardest thing about it would probably be the lack of condiments, but the side of slaw it's served with could help moisten the sandwich and make it easier to eat. Casey Webb has downed some pretty epic desserts on Man vs. Food, but the Chopper-Two-List challenge at Creole Creamery was seemingly one of the easiest ones in the show's history. It features 4 pounds of ice cream and toppings, but the 8 scoops actually appear much smaller than most food challenges. Webb blew through the dense sundae without much trouble at all, minus a brain freeze or two, becoming the 672nd individual to beat the challenge. In addition to the 8 scoops of ice cream, of which Webb was able to handpick the flavours himself, the sundae was loaded with toppings. Webb chose 6 servings of fruit plus 2 servings of chocolate sprinkles. In addition to a mandatory 8 servings of toppings, the Chopper-Two-List sundae comes with a mountain of whipped cream, rainbow sprinkles, cherries, and triangle wafers. The unexpected ease of this challenge likely came from no time limit being placed on Webb. In fact, if he had taken it a bit slower, he likely would have avoided the whole brain freeze situation.
It's really cold, man! It's really cold!
5 pounds of meat, cheese, and bread isn't anything to scoff at, but Adam Richman conquered this South Philadelphia challenge without too much trouble. He was the first person given the opportunity to take a crack at Tony Luke's ultimate cheesesteak challenge. Richman went in with extreme confidence, as Philly cheesesteak is one of his favourite foods. The real challenge would have been walking away. Spoiler alert, nothing did stop Richman, but the cheese came close. Over halfway in, the host had to slow way down, claiming the cheese turned into a glue-like throat block. Despite this, the challenger gave Tony Luke himself plenty of credit by saying that the meat sandwich altogether was absolutely delicious.
This is so good, and you get to have this anytime you want. You are so lucky.
The challenge is made up of what appears to be 3 hulking cheesesteak sandwiches. Each sandwich, or section, features around a pound of meat each with melty cheese, onions, and a substantial amount of crafted in-house bread holding it all in. Richman was given an entire hour to down this 20-inch sandwich, but needed less than half of that to clean his tray. In one episode, Adam Richman took Man vs. Food to Tennessee to experience some real southern goodness at Sweet Peas Barbecue and Soul House. There, the Knoxville meat slingers served him a massive 5-pound burrito. The Gigante is one of the more shocking challenges in Man vs. Food history due to its enormity and the fact that no one had ever beaten the challenge before Richman took it on. Still, it only took the experienced host a mere 5 minutes to down half the burrito. This massive burrito contains 2 pounds of pulled pork, another 2 pounds of toppings, and 4 tortillas to wrap up all the goodness. Richman finished it off with relative ease, but the challenge didn't stop there. He also had to eat a ½ pound of mac and cheese and another ½ pound of banana pudding, about the most dense sides possible. Even though Richman had to pound down a massively filling meal, Sweet Peas did give him a hefty amount of time to do it. Out of the hour he was allotted, Richman pulled the Gigante challenge off in a masterful 25 minutes. He noted that this was the first burrito challenge that he was ever able to conquer, and therefore the easiest. Size isn't the only factor when it comes to meal challenges. Instead of featuring inconveniently large foodstuffs, some Man vs. Food trials feature spicy entrees with jaw-dropping Scoville levels. Luckily, Adam Richman doesn't mind when his food has a bit of a kick, or a lot of it. To showcase his spice tolerance in Season 1, Richman took part in the Great Balls of Fire Challenge at Salvador Molly's. The aim of the Great Balls of Fire Challenge is a simple one. Eat 5 house-made habanero fritters coated in sauce. Things, of course, get a little more complicated when you consider these fritters are packed with spice and the sauce is referred to as hell-raising. In order to make this hotter-than-hot sauce, those nearby need gloves, eye protection and a mask to protect themselves from the second-hand heat. Remember not to touch your face after walking through this kitchen, because even the smallest drop would take you down. After coming out the other side, Richman earned himself a spot on the Wall of Flame. According to several other people who have attempted to eat the Great Balls of Fire, the actual challenge is hours later in the bathroom, but they couldn't show that part of it on television.
Oh, me and my arrogance.
Much like his predecessor, Adam Richman, Casey Webb loves showing fans how much spice he can handle. Although Superb Sushi specialized in large sushi rolls, their Demon's Delight challenge was famous for a whole different reason. It brings on the pain, in the form of some major spice, right up Webb's alley. The challenge consists of one bowl of spicy soup made and infused with habanero peppers, along with an equally spicy sushi roll and a side of so-called death sauce. Webb managed to down the bowl of lava soup in just 23 seconds and went straight to the sushi roll afterwards. Eating his way through the pain was no cakewalk, but after nearly 6 fiery minutes, he took his last bite, red in the face. Sadly, your chance to try this fiery challenge is gone, as it is no longer available. Superb Sushi closed permanently back in 2018, leaving the people of Boise, Idaho with one less spicy sushi spot. Pho restaurants are already known for decent portions, but it's not often you come across a serving size so large that no dining bowl can fit it. At Pho Saigon, the massive Man vs. Pho challenge is brought to the table in a stainless steel mixing bowl. It takes 12 hours to infuse the broth of this pho with flavor, so it's not just big, but also delicious. Part of this challenge's ease comes from how tasty it is, but also because consuming the actual broth is optional. Just 2 pounds of meat and 2 pounds of noodles stood between Casey Webb and victory.
It tastes so good, there's just so much of it.
To the delight of his fans, Casey beat the challenge with less than a minute to spare. He got a t-shirt and a picture on the wall for his efforts, and he even got to keep the bowl. This giant bowl of pho is sadly no longer available, as Pho Saigon went out of business in 2020. If you really want to try this challenge for yourself, you'll have to order a comically large amount of the soup from a different restaurant. Elvis Presley was primarily known for his contributions to rock and roll, but he's also been acknowledged for popularizing a certain snack. His favorite peanut butter and banana-based creation is available in restaurants across America as the Elvis sandwich. Succotash in Kansas City, Missouri pays tribute to the king with their 3-pound Fool's Gold loaf, an over-the-top version of the Elvis with bacon, egg, cheese, almond butter, and blueberry jam. Succotash staff put 30 minutes on the clock for Casey Webb to gobble down the oversized sandwich, and he didn't disappoint. After a half hour of stuffing his face, he took his last bite of the royal-sized meal in dramatic fashion just as the clock ran out. Dinner came with a show too. In addition to the usual crowd of onlookers cheering Webb on, an Elvis impersonator showed off his moves in support.
From one king to another king, you got this. 100%.
Thanks, Elvis.
Thank you.
As far as prizes go for a food challenge, Succotash had a pretty epic one for Webb. He won a personalized Elvis-style cape, as he'd proven himself to be as big an eater as the king. Hot dogs are a classic food challenge for competitive eaters, so it's really no surprise that Adam Richman is really good at downing a dog. The Roast Grill in Raleigh, North Carolina challenged the Man vs. Food host to eat 17 chili dogs in under an hour. Considering some competitive eaters can eat dozens of hot dogs in just 10 minutes, this challenge was understandably a breeze for a food expert like Richman. The Roast Grill has been in the hot dog business since 1940, and before Richman successfully guzzled 17 hot dogs, the previous number to beat was 16. Since then, though, a new competitor has upped the ante to a whopping 26 hot dogs. To be honest, though, it seems like Richman could have eaten more than the 17 he wanted to. He ate his prepared chili dogs with ease and had plenty of energy afterwards. Besides how effortlessly Richman ate his 17 chili dogs, the flavor of the dogs likely made the challenge pretty easy as well. The Roast Grill takes their chili as seriously as their dogs, and the made in-house chili is likely why the hot dog restaurant has had such success. Everything is bigger in Texas, which makes it the perfect location for a Man vs. Food challenge. Lulu's Bakery in San Antonio provides exactly that, with their supersized cinnamon roll weighing in at a whopping 3 pounds. Lulu's gooey pastry is relatively small compared to many other challenges, but compared to other cinnamon rolls, it's a true Goliath. That didn't stop Casey Webb from completely devouring it. Webb began by shoving his hand right into the center of the roll to pull out its heart. After that, it was a matter of making his way through the lighter sections before time ran out. With hands covered in sticky icing, Webb took the last bite of this mess of a challenge before his allotted 30 minutes were up. He earned a t-shirt as a reward for his sweet win.
It's safe to say I'm on a roll. And no, that joke never gets old.
The hardest part of this challenge was getting past the extensive frosting on top of the oversized roll. Webb's tactic of going for the sweetest part of the pastry first brought on a sugar rush, but it worked out for him in the end. Another eye-wateringly spicy challenge. Charlie's 5-alarm fire burger challenge from the Little Bitty Burger Barn in Houston is normal-sized for a Texas patty. As one might guess from the name, the real hurdle is the scorchingly spicy sauce that coats the meat. The nitro sauce that tops the 5-alarm fire burger is made up of 7 different types of pepper, all with a different level of spiciness. Ghost pepper sauce and extract is added to fresh habanero, serrano, and jalapeno peppers. In case that wasn't enough, Louisiana hot sauce and cayenne pepper are also added to the mix. Casey Webb had 30 minutes to take down the hellish burger, a time that has been shortened in more recent years. That's why the Man vs. Food host had an easier time with this challenge than modern-day competitors. Nevertheless, he earned a t-shirt and a place on the Little Bitty Burger Barn's 5-alarm Wall of Fame for his masterful performance.